Shalom, beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing so well. How are you? How are you? Before we talk about anything, I just want to give a quick shout out to the new subscriber that came in. Welcome to the family, and thank you so much for being a part of what has pulled me out of a certain mode. I really, really appreciate you. Honestly, I had to give that quick little shout out, and to everybody else, thank you so much for still being here. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And we have some things to talk about. We really do. There is so many different aspects that I think are being intertwined at this moment. And there's a lot of different avenues to talk about. I have a few things that I know needs to be brought up. They almost feel like things that I could do completely separate readings for, but I just want to give a quick, because these are actually directly correlated with some personal readings that I've been doing. But sometimes when I do personal readings, there's information that comes in and I'm told that it's also a collective, like this needs to be spoke about with the collective as well. Because I always, self-divination is always a thing for me. So, where do we begin? I also have some cards that are already on the table with an energy that we are going to talk about, but I was given the image of these three particular cards from a reading that I did last night for the self. And I think they just need to be talked about. I feel like that it might help a few in the collective have a certain different perspective, right? And which goes into the first download. And this has to do with another reader that I was watching. I do apologize. It's Witch and Sith. I think it's Sith. I don't know if that's the way you say that word. But she's kind of a newer person for me, in my perspective, and I've watched a couple of her stuff that's caught my attention. So if you want to see her, go and see her. I don't know why I brought her up. It's already started. Okay. Why did I bring her up? Like, we need to pray. Okay, let's pray. Spirit, thank you so much. I've already prayed for myself, so I'm just specifically gonna pray for the collective at this time, Spirit. I thank you for utilizing me as a humble vessel at this moment to deliver the messages in which you deem worthy. Ancestors, ascended masters, spiritual teams, and angels, I thank you all so much for all the love, guidance, and protection that you provide the collective every single day. I pray for the collective's peace. I pray for the collective's courage. I pray for the collective's love energies. Please guide and protect me at this time. I set the intention that whomever this message is meant to reach, that it reaches. In the time in which it is meant to reach them. In the space, in the space in which it is meant to reach them. Ashe. 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 Okay, so first things first. Okay, first things first, we're going to talk about the some of you, I was picking up on this energy a couple months ago of the healing of addiction, the energy of addiction. And a lot of the collective, the past 6 months to a year, has been addressing this energy. Who's choosing to? They are addressing this energy. And they're trying to do what they can to heal all of the things within the bloodline. First of all, congratulations. Honestly, this is something that I've been working through myself. But there's some, okay. I had to take a different approach to the energy because I was actually trying to address the wrong energy, which isn't necessarily the wrong energy. It's just I started attaching certain things to the energy of addiction when in fact it's not addiction itself. So let me explain. Addiction does run within my bloodline on both sides of my family. Okay, so I myself have gone through different time periods, different moments. I'm really, really, really being corrected on the word time lately. So if you see me change, like correct myself, this is why. I'm having a totally different, that's way separate. Anyways, there may have been moments within this journey that you have utilized certain substances in order to cope, expose, you may have utilized these certain substances in order to deal with whatever the pressure was at that time, if that makes sense. Whatever pressure it was that you were feeling, you were utilizing alcohol. Me in particular, I utilized at certain moments alcohol to actually release some energy, release some crying, because alcohol is a depressant. And you can utilize that energy if you know what to do with it. And here's the thing, like I got in a complete awakening. Like I did a whole healing journey for the bloodline when it comes to addiction without really having the awareness that that's why I was doing it. Because I had to make it more, spirit and the ancestors and the guides had to make it more personalized in order for me, had to have a word set in front of me in order for me to actually take the time to work on that with the bloodline. But now, with a new perspective and a new angle at the energy of addiction, I realize that I have also been attaching other energies to that, when in fact it is not addiction, it is indulgence, okay? It is indulgence. Indulgences. It's not, for some of you, and this is honestly a collective energy, for some of you, you have to take a different perspective on whatever it is that you feel you have been encompassed in healing. There needs to be a new perspective because there's actually something that needs to be revealed to you that has not yet, because you haven't taken the time to say, maybe if I'm continuing to run my wheels and I'm going nowhere, it's the same movement that I've had for some months now, even as I've tried to shift in all of the things, nothing seems to be working. Maybe it's because it's the wrong energy now. Maybe the energy no longer fits, right? So you have to take a different perspective. It's time to think outside of the box, right? This is for me, it's not addiction, it's indulgences. And for some of you, that's actually very specific for you. Think of it in the term of indulgences versus addiction. Because if it's something, I have to, again, I use myself as, I have to use my own personal experiences sometimes in order to teach. So if that does not resonate with you, bye. Sorry, it's my shadow, just hi, I'm still here too. Still here too. Okay, what the fuck was I saying? I'm gonna wait until the thing goes past anyways. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me back. I appreciate that so much. If you're anything like me, you can dive into a substance. You can dive into a way of existing for a time period, but you have no problem just stopping it whenever you want, right? None whatsoever. Like, I like to smoke cigarettes, but I don't buy my own. But I will sit there and smoke with people. I love it. It's something that I enjoy. But I am the horrible friend that's always like, can I bum a smoke? That's me. Because I love it. It's an indulgence for the moment, but it's not something that I am particularly keen on spending money on personally. I mean, I do put money towards it with certain people. Anyways, same thing with drinking. I can go through a time period where I have gone through time periods where I could drink 5 bottles of wine in a week. No joke. Perfectly fucking, like, but then I can make the decision one night, I don't want to do this anymore. Flat out fucking stop. Flat out stop. Same thing with weed. I can go through time periods where I smoke a lot. I can go through time periods where I don't smoke at all. I could care less. Food. I go through time periods where I'm fucking, what do they call it? Not purging. Purging is the afterthought. Indulging. Thank you. Oh, what do you mean? It's indulging. I go through time periods where I can indulge, but then I can cut that shit off too. Like, it's not, for some of you, it's really not the energy of addiction. And maybe the time that you spent with that energy was purely for the bloodline. But now this is like it's deeper now. It's getting deeper. Addiction starts with indulgences. That's a root. The way that I just saw it is like an arrow going down. Addiction in a bubble, down. Indulgences in a bubble, down. Like, what feeds indulgences? Like, this is a new type of awakening for me personally and for many of you. I hope that, I know it made sense to me, so it had to make sense to you. Okay. Fitting, I just heard loud noises. Collective, if you have been having, which is going to go into this too, okay? This is going to go into the cards now, the 3 cards that I have laying out. Collective, if you've been having very loud thoughts lately, if your thoughts have been extremely judgmental, if your thoughts have been extremely harsh, if your thoughts seem so loud and it's hard to it's not about overcoming. It's not that and that's a word that you could use, but I think it's the wrong word. It's almost like it's hard to be productive in a sense. Or the only time you are productive is when the thoughts slow down, so you become you're not balanced in the sense of productivity versus replenishment. So we have the Star card, okay? What I want you guys to pay attention to is the way she's pouring. Now, last night when I did this is exactly how the cards were set. This is about a new mentality when it comes to the I just keep hearing loud noises. It's like the harshness of your thoughts sometimes, because some of us, well, some people, I should say, who particularly are sold this idea of it's all light and there's no room for darkness here. Like, you're imbalanced, first of all. And when you yourself, as the individual, because you're listening to people who are constantly telling you it's all light, it's all light, it's all light, stay positive, do whatever. The over positivity, right? It's hard for you to get a handle on even addressing or acknowledging the thought, the negative, harsh judgment itself, whether that be towards you as the individual talking to yourself, whether that be you as the individual talking about other people in your perspective, right? That is a thing, right? You projecting that energy, you might not actually be speaking it, and that's probably why it's so loud, because you're not actually speaking these harsh judgments. So it's getting louder and louder and louder. And because you are not actually addressing why these harsh judgments are coming in the first place, and doing the dark, hard work so that you can ascend that towards the light, you're in this fog. It's just a fucking fog of harsh untruths, like illusions, right? Which the next card is right? The illusion of being trapped, self-fulfilling prophecies. This has to go with paranoia as well. This is going to help some of you in particular who have gone through PTSD and are choosing to address your behaviors after that trauma, after whatever it is that happened to you. This is going to help you mentally, this new perspective. Just because you're having these harsh thoughts, right? It doesn't mean that they're not valid. Like, this is a very valid, and this is a very, I apologize. It's a valid energy because it still pours into you. This picture is conscious. What it's being poured into is unconscious. These are still helpful thoughts because it helps you to see deeper. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But the difference between the two of these energies, we have the 9 of air and the 9 of earth, 9 of swords and the 9 of pentacles, self-deprecation, peace. The difference is we allow and address these energies, but they pass through to the subconscious. They pass through to the lessons that we need to learn. They don't nourish. We don't allow them to necessarily nourish our perspective, what it is that we see before us, especially when we look in the mirror. We allow them to pass through to the subconscious so that we can learn those lessons and ascend to the wish fulfillment, to the abundance, to the healing, right? We're a lot of this that we're talking about is healing of the bloodline. We don't hold on to it, we release it, right? We release it. We only allow certain things to actually bear fruit. We only allow certain water to be put into the garden. We don't water our garden with salt water, now do we? Absolutely not. You water a plant with salt water and you're going to draw all of the fucking moisture out of the roots. So you're not actually feeding, you're starving the roots, which in turn does not bear fruit. But salt in the water and the evaporation of salt in the air is actually good and nourishing for the individual self, for your skin, for your hair, for the minerals within your body and the way that it is that you absorb minerals. Salt in the air is very good. Do you see? Oh, I need some water. I think that's all I have to say with this. I'm not sure. Like, I got lost. Okay? I really did get lost. So, I'm not exactly sure how much, you know, if I fully explain this idea properly. Okay? I think I did. I feel like there was something about paranoia that I wanted to say with this. That's why I keep staring at it. I just heard destabilizing. Paranoid energy can be extremely destabilizing. I keep on getting this, like, just mention releasing and doing. Like, if you get a paranoid thought, like if you find yourself like almost obsessing over a what if or what could happen, if there's something that you can do physically, take an action toward releasing that thought, do it. Like, just do it, right? Like, sometimes I have things, how should I say that? Okay. Basically, in order for an aspect of me being able to sleep well at night equates to having protection near me as I'm asleep. It just helps. And that's a way of me just releasing that energy, right? Like, if I take that thing away, if I take the protection away, I know that energy is going to come back. And that's not in my perspective, it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially in this day and age. Like, it's not, okay? But in order for me to release that, I actually have to do an action that correlates with the relief of that trigger, of that turning on of the light bulb, you know? That's all I'm gonna say about that energy. It's gonna get loud again, okay? Just give me a minute. I'm gonna shuffle some cards while this is slowing down, okay? So what did we talk about? We talked about addiction versus indulgence, loud noises, I'm just gonna shuffle up collective. Huh? I'm doing a reading. Huh? I'm doing a reading.
What's that noise?
It's me shuffling cards.
Please, settle down.
You need to settle down. Okay. I'm not going to cut that out. I'm not going to edit this video to cut that out. Yo, I just got reminded of this quote. Okay. This is for the reason why that happened is because some of you need to hear this quote right now. Okay. Let me find it. What's the quote? The quote is, do not let outside insults, do not allow outside insults to damage your ego. Yo, I just got a fucking connection with this. Okay. Ashe. Thank you so much. Do not allow outside insults to damage your ego is directly connected to this energy of the divine feminine in protection of the divine masculine. Okay. Be careful who you listen to, collective. And if you're listening to someone and you don't agree, I've always said this, if you're listening to someone and you don't agree with what it is that you're saying, really dig into why that is. That's how I got to this energy of the divine feminine actually in protection of the divine masculine, which directly correlates with this quote. Do not allow outside insults to, what does it say? To damage your ego. Collective, the ego is created as a way of protection of self. On a general speaking scale, the divine masculine has the duty of quote unquote protection. And the divine feminine has the duty of quote unquote cloaking. Why am I saying quote unquote? It's fucking weird. Probably because I'm just now figuring this and seeing the connection just now. Thank you. Again. Some of you, there's a lot that's happening within the familial arena right now, and some of you are struggling with speaking up for yourself. Some of you are struggling with seeing the reality of the situation that you have with your family, and it's not allowing, it's a stagnant energy. It's not allowing for growth. Okay. Address it. Like, it's, I know how hard it is. Like, I live with my family. Like, I understand. This also goes into the energy that I got before I came on here of people, some in the collective needing to balance and understand that you can feel the stagnation, but still be an appreciation of the present. Like, some of you get stuck in the future and the thought of the future that you forget to appreciate exactly where you are and how it is that you got to this place. There is a balance in everything, and there needs to be a balance in everything. One One energy cannot rule over the other. There needs to be a balance. And I am going to say this for my inner divine masculine and for all of the divine masculines within the collective. You are not born to serve anybody but the Most High. Period. I don't give a fuck what some of these women are saying nowadays. There needs to be a balance. The future is not a matriarchy. We already did that. The future is not a patriarchy. We already did that. Where's the balance? It's not either or, it's both. Equally respected. The fuck? Look. Page of Earth and Two of Air. Also known Page of Pentacles and Two of Swords. Thing is though, and the Ten of Fire, what are we doing? Yeah, this is a really big. Life is out of balance. Ten of Fire. Life is out of balance. For me, it's not about not... At this point, what I'm getting from this, from these three cards, it's not about not seeing or not being aware of the issues. It's about you God, there's so many connections happening. This has to go with tradition. The idea that that it is that way because it's always been that way. When you see a clear, you know that there's a clear path forward, that this is no longer working this way. You know it. I keep hearing self-deprecation, but you're not taking the action towards that thing because you're too concerned about tradition. You're too concerned about hurting. I keep hearing hurting somebody's feelings, right? Listen, when's the last time they give a fuck about yours? And then you have Two of Fire, Two of Wands. You come into your own new partnerships, continue to move forward. This is you making the active decision that clearly I see that this is not correct, that this dynamic is not working, and I've gained enough skills to understand, look, and then the fucking Queen of Pentacles clarifying the Page of Earth. To me, this is saying, like, I've gained enough skills within myself to understand what it feels like to be stable and what it feels like to be at peace. And I'm putting my peace above anything else. And I have the skills to recognize and the time put in to recognize that this is not the way forward. This is not attributing to my stability, to my peace, to the way in which I see abundance. All right, let's get a card for Two of Air, please. I feel very lost in the reading right now, so I don't know why I needed to let you guys know. And then we have Six of Swords and Three of Cups. Again, this has to do with, it's like seeing the tradition of a dynamic, and being like, it doesn't work for me anymore. It no longer, the illusion of the reality of the situation no longer works for me. And then I actually never noticed this man in the corner before until just now. So the reality is, this isn't you. This is you. This dynamic, that's a take yourself outside of yourself and then look at yourself. like seeing the whole perspective. You can choose to see the whole perspective. That is what is going to move you out of the Eight of Swords energy. 2 and 6 is 8. 8 of Swords talks about feeling trapped. The flip side of that energy is it talks about freeing oneself from feeling trapped, right? Yo. And then the Lovers, again, with the decision, making a conscious decision towards balance. Look at how balanced they are. In tune, in a line. One does not exist without the other. It simply cannot be. Sorry to tell you, ladies. But no matter if we have a reptilian brain, yeah, we are of mammal body. And we cannot reproduce or even exist on this planet without men. So get over yourself and start honoring your divine masculine the way that he deserves to be honored. And I'm not talking about anything outside of yourself. There is a deep struggle that's happening with your inner divine masculine. And instead of self-deprecating your divine masculine, why don't you allow your divine feminine, not even that, why don't you allow the Most High to show you the value of your inner divine masculine so that you yourself can be in a position to stand strong and stand up for that individual, for that energy. Because I dare somebody tell my nephew that the only reason why he was born was to serve a woman. The fuck are you talking about? Isn't that exactly what men said to women for the longest time? And now all of a sudden what are we doing? Can you not see the continuance of the karmic cycle in that? Like, what do you mean? The hypocrisy is hilarious. The hypocrisy is absolutely fucking hilarious to me. See, even my shadow is irritated. Like, and maybe it's my ego, I don't know. But you know, it's definitely my shadow. Anyways, we have the 7 of Swords here to clarify the 10 of Fire. And this to me is what I was just talking about, the battle. This isn't an external battle though. This is a battle to choose something new. I believe the way forward is not through anything that we've already experienced. That sounds like stagnation. It sounds like a cycle. It sounds like a fucking mouse wheel. I'm good. I don't want to be on a mouse wheel. I just no sirree babalooey. I haven't said that one in a minute. Look, Queen of Pentacles again. Stop fucking playing with justice, yo. Queen of Pentacles again with justice. She's out here. She's calling on you to call on those skills that you have in order to adapt. The animals that survive are the ones that are most equipped to adapt. Allow yourself to adapt to the new consciousness, the new understanding. Even what we talked about in the beginning, the energy of addiction versus indulgence, they are different energies. It's a very fine line. But now it's time for you to switch the perspective and use the skills that you've learned along your journey to allow you to adapt to that new perspective, because that is the way forward. It's something that you had not experienced before. Congratulations, by the way. The fuck? Because I'm picking up, this is something that the ancestors haven't even experienced before. Like this kind of consciousness, this kind of awareness. Like it's new. It's going to take you on a totally new... Be excited, collective. Be excited, please. 7 of Wands, new boundaries, new perspectives, new ways of seeing the reality of what it is that's before you. With the 6 of Wands, fucking victory, recognition, victory. Belief, faith. And then we have the Fool underneath the 7 of Swords and the 10 of Fire. We have the Fool. A whole new fucking journey, a whole new perspective. Having faith to still walk. I heard walk the plank. Am I supposed to shuffle? Yes, okay. One more. Ashe. And then the Moon. Come on now. With 10 of Wands at the bottom. And the Sun underneath that. Look at this balance. The Moon, the 10 of Wands, and the Sun. This is you taking the time to go and take the journey. Allow adventure to call you into this game of life. Take the journey into the darkness to understand so that you can then take the foundations that you have gained and the skills that you have gained and move on towards something new, brighter, ascended. But you cannot have a full day with just the sun. You cannot have a full day with just the fucking moon. You have to have both within one single day. A full cycle contains both. It's not one or the other. Stop playing with one side and fucking discarding the other. Stop doing that, please. Like, have courage. Have belief and faith within yourself that you have the strength to go through whatever it is that you are being presented with at this time, collective. I believe in you. The Most High believes in you. And get out, ya. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. So there's a lot to take in. But yeah. If you guys want a personal reading, all the information is in the description box below. If you need anything from the apothecary, again, website is in the description box below. So I'm going to end it here. I love you guys. I will be back sooner than later. I promise you that. And I'll see you soon. Love, love, collective.